Well, hello, everybody. Welcome to Christmas Land. I am your travel guide for the day, Akira Davis, and I am joined by my fellow travel guide and Christmas Land expert, Amelia Hamilton. You may recognize us from our previous Christmas Land podcast, A Very Merry Podcast. It's still the same podcast. We're just rebranding. Amelia, we are rebranding today for a couple of different reasons, most of which are really not important to the audience. It's just sort of technical stuff. We never wanted to stop it. We loved it. But just due to some technical issues, we decided the easiest thing to do would be to rebrand this show and relaunch.
Yeah. And we're adding video. Very
And we're
exciting.
adding video component. Which
Was
is
part of the
great for a
technical
show that talks
issues,
about
yeah.
movies. Yep. Yeah, and a lot of this in the time that we've been away, actually, what's happened is that AI technology has taken leaps and bounds in just a year or two.
Yeah.
And so there's a lot of stuff we couldn't do before without hiring somebody else that we can do ourselves now pretty easily. So we just decided we wanted a fresh start, but we wanted to stay in Christmas Land. And so to
Yeah.
our new listeners, Christmas Land is what we dub the cheesy Christmas movie universe. We started the podcast out as Hallmark fans. We love Hallmark Christmas movies. We love the cheesiness of it. We love everything. But we decided to expand our options because there's so many great options out there these days. Hallmark has sort of set a standard and others are following. So we didn't think we could just keep it to Hallmark anymore. So we've rebranded the Hallmark universe Christmas Land. And that's where it's Christmas all the time.
It
And
is.
people, there are no sad endings. There are only happy endings. There are only Christmas trees and hot chocolate stands and family. Hopefully a few orphans if we're lucky. But yeah, that's what Christmas Land is. So that's just so you know, just to set up this new podcast for those of you new listeners out there from the top. And I want to read a statement before we get started with our movie today, Amelia, which I will have you introduce. But before we get started, is there anything you want to add?
No, I'm just excited to be back.
I'm excited to be back too. And I'm excited to talk about this movie. We've had this one in our hat for a year. And okay, but here's the statement I would like to read. We here at Journey to Christmas Land are completely sincere about our love and joy for the universe of cheesy TV Christmas movies. We may poke fun at productions or scripts or silly storylines, but it is all in good fun and done with deep respect for the men and women who make this glorious entertainment. So to everyone who worked on the film we're reviewing today, please know we are so grateful. We are fans. We don't want you to change anything or do anything different, ever. You are perfect the way you are. And we hope you enjoy our commentary as much as we enjoyed your project. Thank you and congratulations on making a movie. Now, get on your hat and mittens, grab your hot toddies. We're going to Christmas Land.
Here we go.
Amelia, set up today's movie for us.
All right. Today's movie is kind of it is an older one. It's from 2011 from Hallmark. Princess for Christmas, and it is starring Katie McGrath, who is kind of recognizable. She's one of those actresses that you're like, I've seen her before.
Yeah, but I couldn't think of where.
I think she was in, I should have looked this up. I think there was that King Arthur series on the BBC. Wasn't she in that?
Girl,
do you remember this?
Don't watch the BBC.
Well, fine. Anyway,
so Amelia.
Yes.
Next to be asking me if I saw her on PBS.
I love Masterpiece Theater. Yes, she was in the Merlin show. Anyway,
okay.
So that's her. And then Roger Moore, who, James Bond, and Sam Heughan, who is Jamie Fraser from Outlander. So
yeah, a very young snack of a Sam Heughan. He's super hot now, but like in a very manly way. And I only know Sam Heughan from Outlander and that era. And so I know a very mature and manly Sam Heughan. And this is a very young, I don't know how old he was, but he had to be early 20s. Yeah. And he looked very boyish. Like he hadn't had his mature glow up yet. But it's still super adorable.
Still
oh my
super
gosh.
adorable. Definitely kind of hot, but in like a gentler way.
yeah, just in a very like boyish way.
Yeah.
And I mean, like, young man way, not a creepy way.
Not make it weird, Kara.
No, he was so I was like, "Oh my gosh, he's so cute."
Yeah, and when I rewatched this, when we first were gonna do this episode, it took me a minute. I was like, "I know that actor from somewhere," and then I was like, "Wait a minute."
When
He's
you
like a
told me when we first watched it, because you picked the movies for the show,
Mhm,
and you told me, "Oh, this is Sam Ewan," and so I went in looking for Sam Ewan, and I
yeah,
didn't see him at first,
yeah,
and then I was like, "Oh, no, that's Sam that's
yeah,
Sam Ewan." Yeah, he really did. Some people have really they hit maturity and their face structure, everything totally changes. He's
mhm,
kinda one of those guys, but luckily for him, he just went from handsome to more handsome.
yeah, men. All right. Here we go. It's kind of fun. At the beginning of a movie, you never know how they're going to like jam in everything they need to tell you to get set the scene. So this was kind of fun because they did a voiceover like it was a fairy tale. Once upon a time this girl lived. So we find out that we're in Buffalo, New York. It's the heroine is Jules Daly and she always wanted to travel. She always liked to know how stuff worked. We just love Jules. But life did not turn out exactly how she planned, so she still lives in Buffalo and works for a store called Antiques and Stuff.
Well, it's self-explanatory,
Mhm.
and in a script like this, you don't wanna take up a lot of time describing someone's job, so you just gotta do it with the title. Antiques and stuff. I think it says it all. There's antiques there, and there's also stuff
And
there,
there's
and she
stuff,
sells
but
it.
yeah, and it's the letter N, Antiques and Stuff. Like,
And
they're
stuff.
not wasting any letters.
Yeah.
They're ready.
Well, it
So,
looks better on Scoop Chat.
it looks better on
Scoop
Scoop Chat.
Scoop
It
Chat
does.
is
It
the
doesn't take as
official
many
social
characters.
Yeah, Scoop Chat's the official social media of Christmas Land.
It is. So, all right, so now we know what Jules is up to, and then we see that we see a little girl. We don't know who she is at first, but it turns out it's her niece. Spoiler. And she is just being kind of horrible to the nanny. She's doing the typical thing that you see in so many movies where the kid is horrible to the nanny, where she over sudses the washing machine and there are suds everywhere. We love it. It's a
Yep.
classic.
It's the
And
little
then
terror.
yes, and then there's a boy, like a teenage or tween boy, and he is stealing a game from the video store because it's rated 17 plus. So we know this kid like he's hard. You know what I mean? He is.
He's hardcore, and
Yeah.
this kid has such short king energy, man, because he's a short guy, like, you can
Yeah.
tell when he's standing next to but he's got big personality, man. You gotta watch out for the short kings. They're
It's
the big
true.
troublemakers, yeah. So we see
True.
Milo, he is definitely a troublemaker. He's stealing an NC-17 movie. And can you
NC-17. It's a
believe that
17 plus video
oh, it's
game.
just 17 plus. There's no NC-17 in Christmas Land.
Kara, tone it down.
It's just 17 plus, which means that in that movie, you probably see people kissing.
True. Well, it's a video game too, so it might be violent or something, but it might be, I don't know. It's hard to
Yeah, maybe
say.
somebody gets punched or kicked or
Or
insulted.
called a name, right?
Yep.
But you
That
have to
would
be
be
17 to
violence
do
in
that.
Christmas Land.
Right.
Yeah.
So we find out that who these kids are, how everything goes together is she has custody of her niece and nephew who are 7. Maddie is 7 and Milo is she just says teenager. So
Yeah.
whatever that means.
And she had naturally, these are not her
Right.
natural children. They are orphans. They are her niece and nephew because in Christmas Land, uh, we don't really like single parents, unless you're a widower. So I think it says something. I think in Christmas Land, it says something maybe about your background. Perhaps you're a woman of loose repute. So
Mm,
she can't possibly have her own children. They've got to be children who have been traumatized by deep tragedy.
of course. And
Mhm.
she was the hero who stepped in. So good for
Right.
her.
That's how we know she's good.
Right. So Jules is having a rough day. First, so she loves her job at Antiques and Stuff. We see her tinkering with stuff, fixing things, helping customers find the perfect gift, but business isn't good and she gets laid off
I
right
love
then.
this scene. The boss is like, I think I wrote this in my notes. Uh, I did. The scene where the boss is like, she makes this great sale. He's like, I need to have a talk with you.
Yeah.
He's very serious at antiques and stuff. And he sits down, he tells her, it's just this is such an exposition scene where you basically get one line of why she's raising her brother and sister, and he says, "This is so hard for me to tell you, because of how your brother and sister-in-law died last Christmas in that terrible car accident, left your niece and nephew all alone, and then
Right.
you had to raise them."
Right. If this was real life, you'd be like, "Was it necessary to remind me of all of that?"
I know. Because of how your sister died, I feel bad.
Right. And otherwise, I'd be fine laying you off.
Right.
But
But I just love how he had to remind her, because of your brother-in-law and sister.
he's like, "And also you look kinda tired." No, he didn't really, I'm just
Yeah.
saying. Like, he just could have insulted her a little bit more
You
there.
should smile more.
So she finds out that she's been laid off. She goes home. Milo hasn't brought in the garbage bins. The nanny quits, and we find out that Milo has beheaded Dolly Dinkle, Maddie's favorite doll.
Maddie's favorite doll, Milo, is a troublemaker. Again, that's that Short King energy. You gotta watch,
Mhm.
Amelia. The truth is that these kids, they've lost their parents. I don't know if you heard,
But last year
yeah,
at
Jules's
Christmas, there was a
brother-in-law.
horrible car accident.
There was a horrible car accident. It
Right.
was 1 year ago at Christmas, even at
At
Christmas.
Christmas, of
At
course.
Christmas.
So she tries to talk to the kids like, "Listen, we're all in this together. We have to like be a family. Everybody has to like not be a psycho who's beheading dolls." And so Milo just straight up tells Maddie that there's no Santa.
This scene, this scene, and Maddie was like, "Oh, I thought about you in this scene."
I thought about you. I don't know why he lied to her about Santa, who was
No.
obviously real.
No, he was just being honest. He didn't wanna lie to his sister. So, for those of you who are new to our show, in my home, my children are adults now, but that's so weird to say. But in my home, we did not do, Santa. We didn't. I don't have any personal feelings about it that deeply. I grew up with Santa, but I was also raised by a godless hippie. But my husband's family, my husband's dad is a pastor, and they're very traditional, so they never did the Santa thing. So I married into it, which Amelia finds to be deeply irresponsible and
Mhm.
wholly cruel.
Mhm. It's true.
That my children never got Santa Claus.
It's true.
But
They
I'm in favor
they
of not lying to the kids. I'm
they missed
I'm
out.
team
It's not a
Milo on
lie
this one.
though.
It's not.
No.
He said Santa wasn't real. That's
Right,
the truth,
that's just a
and
straight up lie.
Santa's not real.
I don't understand what
Okay,
you mean.
we should cool it on this language in case somebody's listening with their kids. I might have to put a disclaimer on
I
this
mean,
episode.
okay, but I'm just saying,
All right,
real.
I'm not cruel. I'm just a truth teller. But in Maddie's defense, Milo's the older sibling. He should have just let her have that delusion.
I'm not happy with that language, but we'll move on. So there's a knock at the door, and it is Paisley Winterbottom.
I have got to record this because I think at the end of the year we should do like a best names
Ooh, yeah.
segment. Paisley Winterbottom. I
Mm.
see what you did there, writers, and I'm here for it.
Yeah. So we find out that Grandpa Huntington, who is the father of these little miscreants, um, who's the grandfather, the
The
dad,
grandfather.
yeah, the dad's father,
He's the
not
dad's father. Yeah.
right, not Jules's father, but um, so we find out that he is a duke in Winterberry, and he
In
cut.
it's Castleberry.
Oh yeah, sorry, Castleberry. You're right.
Castleberry.
I had
Get it
Winterbottom
right,
and
Amelia.
Castleberry mixed up.
Oh
It's gonna
my
be
god.
Castlebottom next. So he cut off his son for marrying the sister. What a horrible man. And Paisley is the butler. And she says, I thought butlers were extinct. And he says, they're making a comeback. P. Diddy has three.
I screamed because when we first watched this movie, Amelia,
Hmm.
this was pre Diddy baby oil prosecution stuff.
Yeah.
It took
There
on
was
a whole
some, there were murmurings. And we were like, that's a little awkward. But for it to happen the week he was sentenced.
I I when on the rewatch of this, which I did just in the past couple days, I just was like, "Oh, that has new meaning."
That did not age well. So he invites them to Castleberry Hall for Christmas because the Duke is so ill and he wants to have a chance to see the grandchildren, all of this stuff. So she's like, I don't think so. He's a jerk. He was mean to my sister. I don't think we're going to do that. They need like a nice, normal Christmas at home. But then later she's sitting on the couch and she's like, she's talking to her sister, in heaven. And she's like, listen, I just wish that you could tell me what to do. And at that moment, a physical paper ticket arrives in the mail slot in the front door.
There's no e-tickets in Christmas Land. They don't do that because you have to have a physical representation. There's no e-tickets. They still do the paper system, which I
Right.
kind of miss.
I know, those were the
Kind of
days.
used to like getting the paper tickets, and I would have like the ticket stub, and then I would put it in my little scrapbook.
I hear you. I hear you. I did the same thing. So next thing we know, they're all arriving in Castleberry. They're in the car, they're driving up to the castle, and she's
And
like,
wait, Amelia, I
yeah.
think listeners might not understand where Castleberry is, and we want you to know that we don't either. It's a vague European country, and that's all you
Oh,
need to know.
correct. I think they said it's near Luxembourg, if I remember
Oh,
correctly.
naturally, they're all near Luxembourg because no
Because
American
nobody knows
knows
where
where
Luxembourg.
Luxembourg is.
Exactly. So they arrive there. She's so worried that the kids are gonna break something, which, fair enough, especially I'm looking at you, Milo.
Yeah.
Um, and then so as they settle in, Sam Heughan shows up driving through the snow in his Jaguar, his little convertible Jag. I mean, the
Hey,
top is up, but still.
you know what? I don't know much about Jaguars. Maybe they handle well in the snow. I have no idea.
They don't.
No, they don't?
They
You
hardly
know?
handle well in good weather.
Okay, I didn't know, but another this is actually notable. They filmed in snow, which is something you don't get
Yeah,
often in Christmas land. So shout out to the crew who probably was struggling and the actors. Some of them look
yeah,
cold in some of those outdoor scenes. So, but you don't usually get that in Christmas land where
it's
you get
true.
treated to snow. So it really was
It's true.
it
They
was a
probably were on
nice
on site in Castleberry for it.
it was it was a nice little
Yeah,
treat. That was a nice set actually.
yeah. But anyway, yes, like a classic Jag. It was silly. I mean, it was a beautiful car, but not for the snow.
Well, he got there.
Yeah. So then they give us a little bit as they're unpacking their suitcases, we find out a little bit more about everybody. So Maddie's suitcase is full of chips and snacks. Milo has an autographed hockey jersey that he is like psycho about. He's crazy about it. The butler like isn't allowed to touch it. And Jules has a bunch of like spicy adult novels.
Romance novels. What's
Romance novels.
spicy in Christmas land? Kissing novels.
I was gonna say they might kiss.
Yeah. Yeah, and
Um,
the staff is, like, a little bit disapproving of her
yeah.
romance literature habit.
Yeah. So she's like, I'm just gonna unpack myself. Like, don't be looking in my
I
suitcase.
also love that Marty like, Milo's flaw is that he's a rebellious troublemaker, and Maddie's flaw is that she eats too many snacks.
Yeah.
It's like a horrible flaw in Christmas land, like an
You ate shit.
overeater.
Exactly. And like, she's not like an unhealthy looking child. It's not like this is a problem.
Yeah, no, she is not obese in any way, she's
Right.
not overweight, she looks perfectly healthy, a very adorable little kid, but
Very
that's the
weird.
major flaw that they've given
Right.
her to work through in this movie. She eats too many
Right.
snacks. I'm like, "Oh, okay, I accept that judgment, Christmas Land, thank you."
Honestly. So as Jules is wandering around the house, the castle, she bumps into the guy who just arrived in the Jaguar, who turns out to be the brother, Ashton. Or so her brother-in-law's brother, the
This
Duke's
is
other
where it's
son.
really important that we know they're not related. So at first I was like, why are they making like they keep pointing they've said it several times, my sister and brother-in-law, and then there is a scene later on where she points out, I'm not related to these people. So that's why it's important we know that she is not, even though the kids are related to these people, she is not. There's nothing
Right,
incestuous.
right. Related by marriage, has never even met this guy. It's don't worry about it, everybody.
Yeah.
So at dinner that night, the Duke, who was Roger Moore, turns out he really wasn't sick. He like maybe had a little bit of a cold, but they were just using that to get all of them to come over. It was emotional blackmail.
Mhm.
Jules isn't very happy about it. Um, but he says, like, "Does anyone have any questions for me? Does anyone wanna know anything about me?" And Milo goes, "Why'd you give us the shaft all these years?"
Yeah. I
Fair
this
enough.
is like in Christmas land, there are no hard feelings, right? Like,
Right.
they don't last, they're not that deep, you can't do it, I get it, because we can't really tolerate a lot of negativity in Christmas land, but this is such a heavy storyline, and they use it often, and it can never get explored
Yeah.
in Christmas movies, but the idea of your parent cutting you off, not only did he cut off his son, he cut him off, and then his son died. Like, this is highly traumatic. His son
Right.
died at Christmas, and now his grandchildren, whom he's never met, are here. This is so
It's a
deep. It
lot.
was way deeper than I wanted to go, but thankfully, it's Christmas land, and we don't stay there very
Yeah,
long.
they don't go deep either. And he just says, like, "Your mother didn't have a title, which made her unsuitable."
Mm,
And then
yeah.
everybody kinda gives him an evil look, like, even Paisley Winterbottom is like, "Bro." So he then is like, "Oh, but I had a change of heart about that." I mean, I don't know when, I guess when
Oh.
they died, but
Well, I kind of am the same way with my kids. They bring people home. Do you have a title? Then you don't belong
exactly,
in the Davis family.
exactly. I mean, I know when I've been there, Ruby's been like, "What is this?"
Yeah, with the she doesn't even have an entourage.
Mhm, gross. So after dinner, Ashton, says something about how he's gonna be doing the annual hunt. And the Duke is really mad about this. He's like, "I don't want the hunt. It makes me think of Charles, who was the dead brother. We're not doing this." And he's like, "Well, I don't even know why you came home for Christmas." And he says, "Because I'm your son. Maybe not your favorite, but the only one who's alive," or something like that.
Ouch.
And I was like, "Wow."
Oh my god. That was a line that came from a different movie. I I contend so let me say this, Amelia. Watching this a second time, I remembered it pretty well, but I wanted to refresh for the
Yeah.
podcast, and watching it the second time, I saw a lot more in the movie. I actually was a much more appreciative of the film the second time around.
Mhm.
I noticed a lot more things that I didn't notice, and that was one thing that struck me. There were parts of this film that actually were really kind of nuanced. They were well written, and I
Yeah.
wondered if it was from a different script. If this movie had been something different, and then they
Hmm.
took that script and reworked it for the TV movie format. And that might have
Interesting.
been one of those leftover lines because it really did it was
Yeah,
really harsh for Christmas
he
Land.
let him have it.
Yeah.
So the next morning, Jules is awoken by the hunt happening outside, and Ashton has this dramatic entrance where he comes like running into the forecourt of the castle on his horse. I mean, the horse is running, and then it like rears up. And I'm going, I actually don't think this horse is very well behaved. Like, this is not a good idea,
But
but
it's
it
a great
looks
shot.
dramatic and, hot and whatever. So it's fine.
Yeah. No, it's Christmas Land, they've practiced it,
Yeah.
and of course, they all have all their hunting gear on, they're looking very royal, very upper
Mhm.
crust.
Exactly. So there's some woman there. We don't know exactly who she is yet. We just know that she is like, why is Jules here? Because she sees her up in the window, and she's just and Ashton,
We know
same
she's
human.
got her nose in the air.
Yeah,
That's all we need
exactly.
to
And,
know.
and he's just like, oh, that's the kid's guardian. That's their aunt. It's she's here for Christmas, whatever.
She doesn't have a title, don't worry about
She
her.
doesn't have a title. Don't worry. It's like she's not even here. She's basically
Yeah.
staff. So Jules decides she's going to take the kids to the village, and there is an orphan choir, which I feel like we also get a lot in Christmas Land. Orphan choirs are big.
Orphan choirs are big. There's actually a disturbing amount of orphans in Christmas Land.
Hmm.
I'm not sure where they come from because, Christmas Land doesn't have enough negativity to create orphans, but they must come from their neighboring city, which is where all
Right.
the Netflix movies live,
Right.
right? Or the Lifetime. That's where the Lifetime movies. It's not. It's Holiday Land. They
Exactly.
must have come. They must. The orphan choirs come from Holiday Land.
Yeah. But all of the orphans are good singers. So they have that
Always. Well,
going
they're
for them. They have that going for
when
them.
you cross the county line into
Hmm.
Christmas Land, you instantly do become good at everything that you
Yeah.
try. Yeah.
Yeah. Um, then we cut to them getting back from the village. We actually don't see anything that happens in the village, but we find out that Milo caused a bunch of chaos. He like got into a
They couldn't
fight.
afford the square for that
Yeah,
day, so
exactly. That's kind of
we'll
what I was
do it in
thinking too.
exposition.
Yeah, but he like gets in a fight. He like starts stuff with a nun. Like, it's the nun
He's
who works.
naughty.
with the children in the choir, yeah.
This is the kind of kid
Whew,
who watches plus 17 movies.
exactly. So then so here we are, the hunt is over, they're back from the village, and a Christmas tree is being delivered. Um, now we know that the Duke did not want a Christmas tree, they have sap, they have needles, they're unnecessary, and Jules was like, "No, we're doing a Christmas tree," and just went and got one, so honestly, good for her.
The Duke was just he's just a curmudgeon, and it makes me wonder if he will ever learn the true meaning of
I
Christmas.
mean, I'm doubting it.
I don't
This
it
might be a
doesn't look
movie.
good. It
Yeah.
doesn't look good.
Yeah. So we find out now that the snooty girl outside was Lady Arabella de Marchmont, or Lady Arabella Marchand de Belmont, excuse me. So, and she is saying that she is going to be engaged to Lord Ashton any day now. So here we go. This is another Christmas land trope. The mean current girlfriend.
Mean current girlfriend or kinda girlfriend
Yeah.
or yeah, yeah.
Um, Jules go so, Arabella's brother, though, is delightful, and he invites Jules to come, have a cup of tea with them, come sit with them, and in the process of this conversation, she finds out that Ashton is a prince. So
Hence
I
the
don't
yeah,
know if, like, the title Princess for Christmas goes along with that. I mean, it's hard to say how it's gonna
who
work
is
out, but whatever, yeah.
okay. Well, he's a duke and a prince.
He's a duke and a prince,
Congratulations.
and he is gorgeous and
Yeah.
kind, so, I
Yeah,
mean,
he can be whatever he wants, to be
he can be whatever he
honest. It's fine.
wants.
Yeah.
Um So then they're all sitting around, and Jules says something about the artist who created this plate that they're looking at. And Arabella's like, "Oh, you're wrong. It's somebody else." So Jules just kind of backs off. She's like, "Oh, okay, sorry." And then finds out that the someone tells her the ornaments are ready. They have been found. So she's like, "Okay, I'm gonna go decorate the tree. See you guys later." Grabs like a handful of tiny sandwiches and leaves. So we're back to Americans who have never been outside before.
I thought about you. It's like Amelia. This is Amelia's favorite thing when in these movies when an American goes to a royal setting and they act like they have never seen utensils or anything.
I mean, she straight up just grabs a handful of the little tiny tea sandwiches. Oh, okay.
Fair enough. I like those little things though.
Yeah. So she and the kids start decorating the Christmas tree. Ashton joins in, and the Duke first comes in. He's like, "What is this? Why is there a tree?" But then his heart grows 3 sizes, and he joins in. They're all decorating the tree together. I think he might be
Well,
starting to realize the true meaning of Christmas.
I feel like it, and it's really hard to resist a Christmas tree with a pretty girl standing next to it with
Mhm.
ornaments in her hand. And
Yeah.
yeah, and this is always the beginning of the revelation that maybe Christmas can be a season of joy is the Christmas
Mhm.
tree. It always starts with the Christmas tree. Someone
Exactly.
doesn't want a Christmas tree, someone does. Boom, you got a movie.
There you go. All right, so the next morning, Milo is still just, like, being a weirdo. So Ashton takes him out, teaches him some archery. They have a little male bonding. Jules is looking out the window with, like, little heart eyes, and I don't know, maybe Milo is also making some progress here.
Well, Milo doesn't have a dad, as has been
As
established. I don't
we
know if you
know.
heard, but his mom and dad were killed in a car accident a year ago.
When? Oh, okay.
1 year ago at
At
Christmas.
Christmas.
At Christmas. So he's acting out and he does need a father figure, and I think that, Ashton recognized that, and so he give this little archery lesson is also a lesson in patience, and he
Mhm,
gives him a nice little, bit of advice about not being a fighter and not having to fight all the time. So it's a
mhm.
really nice bonding moment, and naturally, that is the key to any woman's heart, a
Yeah,
man who has a bonding moment with a child.
exactly. Now it is December 20th, and the Duke, because of his big Christmas tree revelation, has decided to throw a ball on Christmas Eve. And Paisley is like, "Pardon me? That's in 4 days." And the Duke is like, "Ha Do it."
And Paisley says, "Well, Diddy could do it because he has 3 butlers,
He has
but
more butlers than you do.
we're not the Diddy compound here."
We are not. Thank
I have
goodness.
faith in them though, Amelia, I feel like they can do it.
I think they might. I guess we'll have to wait and find out.
Okay.
But Ashton seems to think it's gonna happen because he decides to teach, Jules to waltz.
This is my favorite scene.
And then so he's teaching her to waltz, and we get, like, a little montage for a minute because the Duke also wants the kids to have some lessons, and they can either choose, like, an art, an instrument, I think a language was one of the other options. So Maddie chooses ballet and Milo chooses electric guitar. So we get a little montage of the kids at their lessons. She's waltzing with Ashton. Everybody is learning and growing, and how beautiful.
It was adorable. It was actually adorable little scene.
Until until Jules says something about how he needs to loosen up and starts playing. I guess it's like Christmas Land hip hop, like the Christmas Land version of hip hop. And he's like, I took lessons at the YMCA. And they start doing this horrible, horrible dancing.
It was so bad, Amelia. It was like the worst of white people dancing I have ever seen, and
Yeah.
I just wanna give a shout out to Sam Ewan for being totally committed to the
He was
scene, like,
biting his lip, like the whiteness was everywhere.
the white man's over by he was
Mhm.
doing it, but he was like, it was super ridiculous, and I'm sure even in that moment, they didn't even have music on set. They
Right.
probably didn't even and so but, oh my gosh, I
They
was
committed.
feeling the cringe for them big time. I did go and try to look for that song. I wanted to know what the song was and who the artist was, but it is not listed.
So I also have to mention there was one specific shot for about half a second that made me laugh out loud. So she's trying to tell him that he can relax and, let himself go. It doesn't have to be all waltzing and fanciness. And so she kind of musses up his hair. And then he is like, I'm going to untuck my shirt. And he untucks his shirt. And you see his stomach for like half a second. And there is a cut to just a shot of his lovely flat stomach, and I was like, "Come on, whoever produced this."
That was the only way they could get in any, like, semblance of,
And his
like,
skin.
deepfake. You just, like he's untucking his shirt and you see, like, a little flash of
Yeah, you see,
his
like,
tummy.
3 inches of skin.
But that was scandalous. I mean,
It
let's not
was.
talk about, the 3 men
Oh,
and a
3 wise
Christmas
men, yeah.
baby or yeah, the 3 I just
Oh my
that was
goodness.
like that movie opened up with that man standing shirtless,
Yeah,
which
I
was
mean, Sam Heughan walked so the 3 wise men could run. You know? This was 2011, that was risque.
it very much was. It very much was, but that scene was hilarious, and, he does tell, Jules, "I look, I'm not very funky."
She's like, "Let's do it."
And she's like, "Oh, no, it's fine," as if she's funky too. There was no funk in this scene, but I
Mm-mm,
loved that they thought there
none.
was.
I mean, I'm extremely white, and I'm not a good dancer, but even I was like, "Ugh." I
No,
mean,
it was
they're
cringe.
both actors are British though, and I feel like maybe that, you know,
Yeah, I'm willing to give them all the grace here because 'cause I'm sure they didn't even have music, but that
right.
scene is the standout scene of this
Hard to
whole
watch.
film in my mind.
Um, so Lady Arabella comes in as they're dancing, and she's like, terribly sorry to interrupt your little ghetto dance." Wow.
Wow, you know what? In Castleberry, eh, those people are, like, for real,
They
they
are.
will cut you down, like, Castleberry manners are
Yeah.
yeah, they're saucy in
Yeah.
Castleberry.
So, um, so Ashton goes off with her and tries to, make things right because I mean, in her defense, he was supposed to have have lunch with her and her parents and just
Mhm.
forgot. I don't think she needed to like make it really personal about ghetto dancing, but I
Right.
understand why she was mad in
Well, she just
general.
didn't like she's just not accustomed to seeing all that funkiness.
All that funkiness was just too
Mhm.
much for her to handle. She probably saw his stomach and was like, "Whoa, we've only been dating
No,
3 years."
what is going on here? This you get first you bring in this lady with no title, and then you're
Mhm.
showing flashes of the side of your stomach?
I know. I don't even know you anymore.
I know.
Um, so they're having the ball, and Jules is in the hallway fixing a clock because she can't help herself when things need to be fixed. And she overhears Ashton and the Duke talking about the guest list for the ball. And first they're talking about Jules and how they're really enjoying all of them being there, blah, blah, blah. And then what Jules doesn't realize is the Duke points to a name on the guest list, but obviously she can't hear that. So then they start being like, oh, do we have to invite her? She's horrible. She doesn't have a title. She's just icky. And Jules thinks it's about her.
Awkward,
Awkward.
awkward. Uh, and perhaps if she had just asked about it,
Right. But, you can't just
but you
clear up a
can't just ask.
misunderstanding.
She overhears, immediately decides she knows the entire story,
Yeah.
and now we get to the final act of this film.
Here we go. Milo and Ashton have another nice little moment where Milo breaks into his dad's old room because it's been locked up. And they talk about, how it's time to, honor the dad and remember him more and talk about him more. And they're going to keep the room unlocked now. So that's
This
lovely.
family has deep psychological issues.
They do have some problems. All right. We're getting to like ball plus 2 days or whatever. It's almost time. Or is it tomorrow? Might even be tomorrow. Um, and Jules didn't know. She didn't bring a ball gown. She has like a dress. And so the servants are trying to figure out what they're going to do about this dress. Maybe if we iron it, it'll be okay. But instead, they scald it all the way through. Like there is straight up an iron shaped hole in the dress. So now what
Yeah,
are we going to do?
the maid is like, "Oh, she's so upset." She's like, "I'm so sorry. I didn't realize the iron had got that hot." I mean, yeah, sometimes that happens, but did you walk away from the iron and, like,
Right. You had to have left
go
it there
fix
for a long
dinner?
time while there was like smoke and did you not
Right.
smell it?
This was a full-on hole. It actually looked like someone took a torch to it.
Right. It wasn't just
Yeah.
like a burn from the iron, it was burned through. So,
No, I'm gonna suggest that maybe the Duchess de Marchand de blah, blah, blah,
mhm.
maybe came in, snuck in, and burned a hole
Gonna
in it.
blame Arabella.
Yeah, Arabella.
So I'm just gonna mention that Arabella, the actress's real name is Charlotte Salt, and she is a little salty in this movie, so just something
Oh,
to
there you
think
go,
about.
very good.
Something to think
I
about.
like that name, Charlotte Salt.
Mhm. Um, so Jules is like, "You know what? I think this is a sign. I am just not gonna go to the ball. I don't think I
Mm,
should go." Because she's also thinking that nobody wants her there anyway because of what she overheard.
right.
Um, she proceeds to buy tickets, and lucky her, there's a direct flight from Castleberry to Buffalo.
From Castleberry International. I'll have
Right.
you know, that's the name
Because
of the
they fly to
airport.
Buffalo.
When she a direct flight to Buffalo from Castleberry International, because when she's at the train station, the announcement comes over and it's like, "Oh, the next stop, Castleberry
Mhm.
International Airport." I'm like, "Wow, Castleberry has an international airport
Yeah, good
even."
for them. Well, they gotta
Good
get
for
to
them.
Luxembourg too, though.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know where
Uh,
that is.
so Jules, says goodbye to the kids and then leaves without them. I'm like, "This is their first Christmas without their parents. 3 days ago, you hated the people that you're leaving them with." Seemed like an odd choice to me.
Yeah, they don't know anybody. They just got there and their grandfather cut them off because he hated their mother.
Right,
Like, maybe stick
right.
around, Jules.
So, but anyway, and so she tells the kids, like, "Don't tell them I left until, the ball is started," and, it's all very dramatic. It's a lot to put on the kids, but Uh, so Jules is heading to the train station, like you said. She's so that she can get her flight direct to Buffalo.
Right. Direct
And the
direct
servants show
flight to
up and they're
Buffalo.
like, "You forgot your gown." But they have all pitched in to buy her a new beautiful gown.
This part cracked me up because it's a beautiful gown, and she's like, "How did you afford it?" They're like, "We all chipped in." So all of the poor servant class chipped in to give essentially a duchess, I mean, her niece and nephew are royalty,
Right.
to buy the royal family a gown. But I guess, you know what? In Christmas land, charity knows no bounds. It's not
True.
limited to what you can afford. And I'm sure all of these people are very well provided for. There are poor people in Christmas land because you need those
Mhm.
people to help, but they're not sad poor people.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Exactly.
they're happy poor people.
Yeah. Um, Back at the ball. So she decides she's gonna get changed into the new dress. She's going to the ball. So she's on her way back. She's gonna get
Yes.
ready in the car. They make the boys sit up front, they put up the partition, she's getting ready in the car. Meanwhile, at the ball, Ashton is having a chat with Arabella, and she tells him that if he was not a prince, she would not be with him. And so he's like, "You know what? I think we're done here." And she's horrified. She is shocked that finding out that she doesn't care about him makes him not want to marry her. And so she's like, "Listen, we would," he's like, "Listen, we would never make each other happy." And she says, "I don't care about being happy. I care about being a princess."
All right. In one respect, like, I have mad respect for Arabella for just being honest. You know what I mean, ladies? Like, don't pretend. Fine. It's like, this is just what I want. And I really feel like she could find that for herself because there are plenty of, especially in Castleberry, I'm sure there's older dukes and older royalty with
Hey.
titles who would be perfectly happy. We don't need to be happy. I just want a young wife. So
Yeah.
kudos to her for being honest, but that's not the kind of relationship that a prince of Christmasland can
No,
land
absolutely
in.
not.
No.
I also appreciated that she was wearing a little headband that looked like a tiara.
I didn't notice that.
Yeah.
Yes.
So it was like,
Dressing the part.
yeah, like sitting on top. Yeah, it was kind of silly, but I'm sure it was actual like platinum and diamonds. It wasn't. She didn't buy it at Claire's.
Oh, no, not Arabella. There aren't even Claires in
No.
Castleberry.
Um. So we get back at the ball. We get the dress reveal. One of your favorite moments. They
Yep.
pan up. She's standing at the top of the stairs wearing the dress. Just how it's supposed to go.
Yeah,
Um. Looks beautiful. And then we see that Maddie and Milo, they're excited that she's here.
of course.
And Maddie appears to be wearing the exact same tiara headband. I think they
I
had
didn't
one, and both of them wore it.
Oh my gosh, that's so funny. I didn't notice that. I wonder what that was. I wonder what if anybody worked on that set in the costume department, let us
Let us
know.
know.
Did you, reuse the headband for the Duchess and the
Tell
little
us.
girl?
Yeah, they were both
Maybe there
wearing
was a scene
it appeared
that
to
we
be the
missed.
yeah.
Yeah, that got cut out. Like
So
Arabella stole it from her or something.
so they all go to dance. The Duke is dancing with Maddie and Milo. I wrote down, sorry, is Milo dancing with a child or a tiny woman?
Oh, I didn't even
Because
see
I could not tell. What-
because he's so short.
but
I'm gonna bet it was a child because even the women that and like no shade to this actor, dude. It's just how you are. But like even next to every female on set, he was like inches shorter.
but
I'm gonna have to
but
go back and look at this.
he
I have
looked
to go
like an
back.
adult. So I was
Oh
really
my
confused.
gosh.
I know. Why am
I
I
have to go
crying
back and
laughing
look
at
at this.
nothing? But here I am. Um,
Oh my gosh. I bet it was a kid. Or they had really had to work hard to find a woman who was shorter than him. He's very
right.
short.
Because at first I was like, "Oh, he's asking, like, a grown woman to dance. Interesting." But then she was also I think she was shorter than him, and I was like, "Is that a child? Like, is that someone
Maybe
age of"
she was supposed to I mean, he is supposed to be a teenager in this film, so maybe she was
Right, so
supposed to
is
be
she
a
a teenager?
teenager.
I don't
Yeah.
know.
I
I
don't
was very confused by his dance partner anyway. So
know.
so Ashton comes out from his breakup in the other room, and, and Jules is like, "Listen, I know that you didn't want me here. I overheard you and your dad talking, but I'm here anyway." And he's like, "Oh my gosh, that wasn't about you at all. That was about Bunny McCracken, who's over there." And she's like, "Oh my gosh, I'm so embarrassed." And he
Bunny
says,
McCracken.
and so he talks about how he definitely did want her there because, quote, "I find you funny, smart, and surprisingly funky, which is a rare combination." That's beautiful.
Uh, my favorite line of the show, and it's definitely up there, funny, smart, and surprisingly funky.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have I don't know about surprisingly or funky, but
Yeah.
he enjoyed it. For Christmas Land, sure, she was funky. Even her wardrobe was kind of funky, She had
Yeah.
like a bohemian kind of feel
Yeah.
to
Like an
her,
artsy
lots
look.
of
Yeah.
flowing skirts, and definitely didn't fit into the Castleberry vibe. But yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, no one could say about Arabella that she is surprisingly funky. No one's gonna say that about her.
No.
No.
No. So now Jules and Ashton also head to the dance floor. They're having their waltz, and Lady Arabella's parents lose their mind They are having a tantrum. They're not into it. So, after the dance, Jules and Ashton have no idea that the parents are being weird. They go outside and have a kiss. And then Jules goes, "What about Lady Arabella?" After
I
they've already
okay,
kissed.
2 things. I thought it was the end of the movie. I
Yeah,
thought the movie ended there because they kissed, and then she said, "What about Arabella?" I was like, not only is it not the end of the movie, this is technically cheating.
right. You probably should have asked about that when you were, like, looking at each other like you were about to kiss. At that moment, you're
Yeah.
like, "Hey, why are you looking at me like that? You have a girlfriend."
But then again, maybe it's none of her business, It's like, that's your girlfriend, you all work that out.
I mean, she also clearly doesn't care about if she's happy. She just wants to be a princess,
Yeah,
just like
we we
Arabella.
don't we don't have to feel bad for Arabella, and
Right.
Christmas Land movies always do that for us. They make sure that we don't have to feel bad for
Yeah.
people. You don't want a lingering bad feeling.
Right. And so he explains that they've broken up, they kiss again. Cool. Um,
I was scandalized. Not
Scandal.
one kiss before the end of the movie, but 2.
Right. Well, this is 2011. This is before the kiss at the end of the movie rule.
I know, but it still feels wrong.
It does feel wrong.
Still feels wrong.
So, just in case you were thinking about feeling bad for Lady Arabella, her parents are still having a hissy fit inside, yelling at the Duke, saying, "We know your sons have a fascination with the great unwashed."
Again, the Castleberry tude is
Yeah.
they're like New Yorkers, man. These guys are brutal. These
Yeah,
guys are savage.
they are. And the Duke is just like, you are crazy people. Goodbye. But then Arabella comes strutting into the room and she's like, "Jules was fired. Milo is a kleptomaniac and Maddie is a trans fat junkie."
What I heard was Maddie is a trans fat junkie. I was
Well,
like,
she
wait,
did. I did notice there's like a period after every words. Trans, fat, junkie. So I get it. You're like, wait,
uh,
Milo, you're like,
yeah,
Maddie was a
again,
boy
they
the
were
whole
like,
time?
and then again, this is the most insulting thing you can say to a child. Like, this is her big flaw. Because
Right.
even in Jules in the film, when she comes back, she finds Maddie's snack drawer and she's like, we've gotta quit with the snacks. Like, I haven't really seen the snacks be a problem for Maddie. She's
Right.
only eating them, but she's perfectly healthy. She's not overweight.
Yeah. She has
There's
snacks like
apps.
twice in the movie, but okay.
Yeah.
So Jules like explains, she's like, "Yeah, Milo stole something and he returned it. We're working on the snacks. I'm trying to get a new job because I like working, whatever." So Ashton and the Duke take up her side, and the Duke tells Lady Arabella, "You're the one who is all fur coat and no knickers."
I wrote that down. All
Wow.
fur coat and no knickers. And no knickers. But first of all, make sure you pronounce that. It's no knickers, but also, ooh, very saucy. Ooh, let me just say about Roger Moore, he understood the assignment
Mhm.
for this movie. And, he's not in it a whole lot, and he's obviously there just there for the gravitas, but
Yeah.
he did not take his job lightly. On
Mm-mm.
point the whole way. He understood the assignment and delivered.
Yeah. Um, so Ashton asks Jules if she would extend her stay, which I thought was an interesting way to put it because we don't really know what that means. Like until New Year, forever? I don't know.
Mm.
But
Well, I
anyway,
I don't think it's supposed to be that specific.
yeah,
Seems like that could get a little scandalous.
it does.
Extend your
Um,
stay, and then we'll just see what that stay looks like.
exactly. So then they catch Santa at the Christmas tree because obviously he's real. And Milo is like, "See, Maddie, I told you I was wrong. He's real."
Mm.
So
Well,
they have a beautiful moment. And then the next thing we know, it's their wedding. Jules and Ashton are married, and he says something about her being a princess now, and she's like, "Ha, it sounds like we're in line for a throne." And he's like, "Yeah, we are." Which was kind of my reaction because what do you think a princess is?
I was confused all the way around because I think the first time I watched this movie, I did not see the last scene for some reason. So I didn't
Oh,
remember that they got married. And so I was like, "Oh, we're ending with a wedding. Okay, I didn't remember this." And then she's like, "Oh, are we gonna be kings and queens?"
yeah.
This seems like a discussion you would have had at some point before
Yeah.
the wedding. It seems like you should at least know that your husband is gonna be a king someday. That seems important. But
Yeah.
also, yeah, and then I was like, "Well, how?" I don't understand. Isn't
I
his
don't know.
dad a duke?
I mean, they could be further down the line. Maybe he'll never be king, but that doesn't mean like if you're a prince, I think you're always in line somewhere.
Well, who knows how they do it in Castleberry? Who am I to say how they make these
True,
arrangements? I
true.
just felt like it was a discussion that
And
probably should have been had.
although that was the end, I do also want to mention that I should have said, the Duke offers to pay the servants back for the gown. I just wanna
Oh, I
close the
didn't see
loop
that.
on that. Yeah, he does
I
at the
didn't
ball,
see that. Very good. Very good. And that is A
and
Princess
that's
for
the end.
Christmas. That is what are your thoughts on this movie, Amelia?
Loved it. I loved it. It's one of my favorites from throughout the years, one that I've watched, several times now, and it's always good. It's a good one.
I This is my second time watching it. I loved it more the second time, actually. I had even much more fun watching it the second time because I was able to, notice other things. Like, I think the cast is great. I think they did a
Mhm.
great job with what they had, and the scenery was great. Great pick, Amelia. I really loved this film, A Princess for Christmas. I do want to get to some, um I wanna get to some awards, and then I'm gonna tell people a little bit about this cast because we found some interesting things. I
Mhm.
had some questions about Milo. He was
Yeah.
a standout for me, and so I went to look him up, and I'm gonna tell you what I found out about him, but let's go through our awards and our trope list before we move on to that. So first of all, let's go through just a basic list of tropes. We have tropes that we expect to see in Christmasland movies. It's what makes Christmasland, Christmasland. Some movies have them all and some have none. We like to
Mhm.
go through and see. So, do we have someone falling off of a ladder in or a high position into the arms of their romantic protagonist?
I don't think so. I don't think we
We did
got that
not
one.
see. No, we didn't see any like tripping or falling or oops, I caught you. None of that.
Yeah, no.
Tree decorating. That decorated tree.
Heck yeah.
Heck yeah, they decorated the heck out of that tree. Snowball fight.
No, I don't think
No,
so.
no snowball
Mm-mm.
fights, and there were some pretty great opportunities for snowball fights because you had all those orphans there. I think they really missed the boat on that one.
Yeah.
Precocious child.
I was on the fence about this one. Was Maddie supposed to be a precocious child? I
I
thought she was just a
feel
child.
I feel like they both. I feel like there were 2. I feel like Milo and Maddie were one precocious child. Again, Maddie was so pleasant. Actually,
Yeah.
the trans fat junkie stuff, like, I never thought that was a problem, and even when she was torturing the nanny, she seemed very pleasant and fun and cute, you know?
Yeah,
She
I
seemed like a
actually
nice kid.
wondered if she was even intentionally torturing the nanny or if she just was like, "I'm gonna do the laundry myself," and no
Same.
seven-year-old would measure the soap correctly.
Same. I kinda thought the same thing, so I guess Maddie and Milo qualify as
Mhm.
the precocious child. The purpose of a precocious child is to set up interactions between your romantic leads. So
Yeah,
it's supposed to give a little lightheartedness, and then maybe, you have that moment where, "Oh, I realize that this person loves kids, and that makes him a good
yeah.
person." So that's why there is a precocious child, and I feel like these 2 kids did fulfill that.
Mhm. Okay.
Okay. Um, a conversation that creates, tension or an issue that could be cleared up with one simple conversation.
Yeah, the whole thing with the guest list.
It coulda just been like, "I overheard this, was this true?" Or
Yeah,
there's a number of ways she could have approached that to just get clarity.
yeah. I mean,
Um,
honestly, I would've just walked in the room. She was in the hallway right outside. I would've been like, "Hi, I just heard that. What's up?"
yeah. Should I go? Should I
Yeah,
just
I
go
I'm
then?
happy to step aside if you don't want me
Yeah.
there.
I know, I don't even have a title. Christmas Eve deadline
The ball, I mean, it
for
wasn't
ball?
really like a deadline. There was a Christmas Eve event, but,
Yeah.
the servants had to deal with all of it, so it wasn't really a problem
Yeah.
for our characters.
A lot of times in these movies, there's something that the romantic leads have to plan together, and the deadline is naturally Christmas Eve because, of course, that's when all of the very important parties and
Yeah.
dances and business events and business meetings take
Yeah,
place on
business
Christmas
meetings
Eve.
and, like, business proposals and things are
Business
frequently due on Christmas Eve.
in Christmas land, business proposals are only due on Christmas Eve. That's actually like their tax day
It is.
in Christmas land. Okay. Um, we have the grand entrance. Of
We
course,
had it.
grand
Yep.
entrance and stairway. I
Entrance on the
love that.
stairs.
Kiss at the end of the movie.
I think there was a kiss after the wedding. I think they kiss
But that
after
has to
she
be the
finds out
first
she's
kiss.
a princess, but then they also have they stole a kiss, like, 20 minutes from the end.
Yeah, we usually like to see the first kiss at the end. That should be the closing event. Not in this case, but however, I'm gonna make an exception, A, for the age of the movie, but B, they did have a wedding at the end, which feels like, okay, it's fine. He made an honest woman of her, and we can see that.
Yeah,
So, yeah. And that's all I have. Did I miss any?
I don't think so.
No, that's
I think we're
basically
good.
all
Oh,
I have. All right.
baking. A baking
Baking.
scene, but I don't
She
think we had one of those, did we?
We didn't. She said she would. That was exposition. She said she was gonna go bake,
Yeah,
but they
but we never
didn't.
saw it.
We never. We love baking scenes because it creates a lot of opportunities for playfulness, and you throw
Mhm.
flour around like you do when
Yeah,
you're
and
baking.
standing really close as they go, try to get to the cabinets, but,
Yeah.
someone's always standing in front of the cabinet you need,
Uh,
so you have to walk
yeah,
really close to each other.
they missed that opportunity. Um,
I
and
think they only
I
had,
know
like,
there's
3 sets, so they couldn't.
I know, I was gonna say that. I know there's a great kitchen in that castle, but yeah, they only had 3 locations, so they did good for what they had. Alright, those are the tropes, so we had a few in there, I think enough to make this movie to give this movie a good marks for Christmas Land.
Mhm.
Now let's go to our awards portion of the show. This is where we award, um prizes to for performances in the film that we thought were stand out. We have 3 awards to give today. So the first award, that I wanna give out is the Robert A. Barron Award for Villainry. Now, Robert A. Barron was a great Christmas Land, villain in one of the shows we did on
Yep.
A Very Merry Podcast, and you should go find A Very Merry Podcast and catch up.
Mm.
Um, you can find the archives online. Um, and Robert A. Barry was just such a cartoon character villain. We named an award after him. This award goes to the villain of the episode. Who does your Robert A. Barron award go to?
Probably Lady Arabella. Yeah.
Yeah,
How about you?
Lady Arabella. Mine
Okay.
too. That was mine too. She had no redeeming qualities. She had, no turnaround. She learned nothing. And yeah, I think she was a great villain.
Yeah.
Perfect cardboard cutout
Yep.
of a villain.
The only other person I, considered were Arabella's parents because they're just terrible and they created that monster, but I think we're gonna have to give it to Arabella.
Honorable mention to Arabella's
Yeah.
parents. All right. Um, Next we have the Christmas ham. Oh, I'm sorry. I actually had an honorable mention for
Mhm.
the Robert A. Barron Award.
Ooh.
Honorable mention goes to Bunny McCracken.
Oh, fair, fair.
We didn't really see her, but we just knew she was terrible because she hates kids. That's what the
Yeah,
prince said. And then when they
and
flash to
old
her,
people.
she's like awkwardly stuffing. She's doing basically what Jules did her first
Right.
day there, was awkwardly stuffing hors d'oeuvres into her mouth. So,
Mhm.
she gets my honorable mention for the
Okay.
Robert A. Barron Award. All right, and then next we have the Christmas Ham Award. This is the award that goes to the most over the top performance, somebody who just gave it their all, who, like, held nothing back. This is for the ham of the episode. Who did you think earned that award?
So for me, it was, a supporting character. It was I don't even think did she have a name? But the maid who hated Christmas and she got coal in her stocking one year and didn't wanna
Mrs.
celebrate.
Birch.
Mrs. Birch, there we go. She's sobbing, and then she has, like, a big turnaround too. She went for it. She played the character so well. I loved her.
I couldn't agree more. Do you have the IMDb page up there?
I
Let's
do.
name her.
Who played
Let's
Mrs.
give
Birch?
her
Because
let's
right
say
now I
her
have it
real
pulled up
name.
to a review that I wanna read you in a minute, but let me
It
go
doesn't have
back.
a picture of her, but it'll have her name. Mrs. Birch.
Mrs. Birch. Okay, enough pop-up ads,
She was
IMDb.
my also she while you look for
Ox
that,
Sorry,
what
go
was her name?
ahead. Oksana Moravec. She is a
Oksana
Romanian
Mor
actress.
All right, Oksana Moravec. She was also my pick for Christmas ham. I think again, like Roger Moore, she understood the assignment.
Yep.
Loved her.
Alright, so now I'm on her IMDb page. Hmm. In 1998, she played the role of concubine in Lurid Tales.
Oh,
Is that
Mrs.
the movie Milo
Burns.
was trying to rent?
Is it 17 plus?
I don't know, but it's got 3.6 stars. The
Wow, well,
Lurid Tales, The
congratulations.
Castle Queen. Oh my god,
Well,
I can't even read you the description. on a Christmas Land podcast.
Okay, girl, well, you just get that work wherever you can find it. I'm not no judgment here, it's tough. It's a tough gig being an actor. Well, Oksana, you won our Christmas Ham Award for
Yes.
this episode. I thought
Yes.
you got it. You did great.
You earned it. You deserved it.
You definitely earned it. All right, and the final award of the day is the Christmas Tree Topper. This award is our Oscars. It's the Oscars of Christmas Land. This goes to the best performance, someone you thought really just I flirted with naming this award, Amelia, and I think an alternative name for it is the CCB. Because Candace Cameron
Mhm.
Bure, of course, is the queen of Christmas Land. She's the GOAT. Everything gets compared to her. So I sort of wanted to call it the
Yeah.
CCB. But this is the Christmas Tree Topper. Who gets your Christmas Tree Topper award?
I'm gonna say Sam Heughan. I feel like he is just a better actor than anybody else in the show. He did a good job.
All right. I think he did great as well. Okay. My Christmas tree topper goes to Sir Roger Moore. I think he was an excellent uh, curmudgeon. He took the assignment totally seriously. That's a pro, right? It's
Mhm.
hard. I don't think people understand. You go to these movies, it's hard. It's not really nuanced dialogue. That's not what these movies are supposed to be. So you're not getting Oscar worthy
Yeah.
dialogue. So when I see an actor who's like really going for it and can really make it work for them, that's a pro. And that's what Roger Moore did. So I think he was perfect in his role. He knew exactly what he was supposed to do and he delivered. So Roger Moore, you are my Christmas tree topper.
Very good choice. He was definitely in the running for me
Thank you.
too.
Yeah, really good. All right, before we go, I promised you some juicy stuff. I wanted to know more about this kid, Milo, because he was so interesting to me. He had very interesting look. Besides his height challenges, um, he had a very distinct voice.
Yeah.
Which was
He's done actually a lot of voiceover work when I looked at his
well.
IMDb, which makes
This
sense.
is what made me go look for him because I actually wanted to know. I thought he sounds like a voice actor. That's what I
Mhm.
thought because he just has this very distinct voice. So I went to look him up and discovered indeed he has a huge resume. This guy
Mhm.
is like he's no schlub. This
Okay.
guy's been working in the industry for 25 plus years and he has a huge resume of voiceover work in over almost 70 shows, including Ninjago, Lego, what else is on here? Polly Pocket, Dr. Zeus, all kinds of stuff.
Mhm.
I mean, amazing. So I wanted to go look for more of his stuff online.
And you found.
This actor's name is Travis Turner.
Okay.
He's not just a voiceover actor, he is also a Canadian rapper. Travis is a rapper,
All
y'all.
right. Is he
His
surprisingly
rap name
funky?
is surprisingly funky. His rap name is Lil T.
Okay.
And I went online to find some of his work. Now I don't wanna get in trouble with copyright. So I found an interview. I found like a little reel of him and I'm gonna play a few seconds of his song. So you're gonna see I'll share this on the screen for those of you who are watching on video. You're gonna see Travis. This is a little reel of him explaining who he is, what he does, and then we'll have a few seconds of his music as well. Let me share
All right.
the
Roll it.
screen here.
Antisocial skateboard.
This is not Travis. This is another Canadian rapper he's working with.
I've also opened for such acts as Warren G, Little Kim, D12. I've always liked to entertain crowds since I was just a little kid. As soon as 13 hit, really got into hip hop and started writing and freestyling.
It's all so simple, letting the stress of the day melt away. We all like, hey.
It wasn't
All right. Oh, he says in that he got into hip hop in 2013, and this movie came out in 2011, which makes me wonder if he was inspired by the ghetto dancing and the surprising funkiness and realized that's how he wanted to express himself.
Maybe this movie inspired Little T. Well, I'll tell you what, though, when I was looking him up on YouTube, he's still out there working. He's still making music. He's still opening for people.
Yeah.
He's still acting. I think he's in the
Yeah,
new
his
Final
IMDb
Destination
is
movie.
still
Yeah,
up through to 2025. I mean, he's doing big shows for voiceover.
this
So
guy truly is the
nice.
definition of a short king, man. This guy's a king. You go for it, Travis Turner. Congratulations to you on all your accomplishments. I was tickled by the Lil T, the Canadian rapper. It's one of my favorite things to do is when you tell me what's going on in their IMDb and you're always, you do a little research. But this one was truly funny, and it is too bad that he started his career after the movie because wouldn't it have been great if they had included Lil T on the soundtrack?
Exactly. It would have been perfect. So there's this one review on IMDb that I also want to share, and it's also
Okay,
about Little T.
okay.
Um, Headline, a feel-good movie. And then the review says, it was predictable, but nevertheless a fairly good movie. The worst part of the movie was the actor playing Milo. He couldn't have been worse in his overacting and was bad casting for the part. So RDS 00516, we just want you to know that he's actually a really successful voiceover actor and rapper. So you don't even
Yeah.
know.
Yeah, no, he's super successful. I think I feel the over the top comment because it actually is what made me kind of go look him up. But I didn't think he was over the top as in bad. It made me
No.
think he was a theater kid, and I just was curious about what his background was. And so when you look at, I mean, voiceover acting, that's all vocal work. So yeah, he may have seemed over the top at some point, but I think
Yeah.
that's just his training. He's very accomplished. So, good job, Travis.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I love this movie. It's a good
All
one.
right. I loved it too. Um, I think it was a great pick, Amelia. Thank you to everybody who was patient. We promised you this movie on a Very Merry podcast. We promised you we would do it, and then life got in the way. So we're delivering on our promises. Promises made, promises kept. If you want to know more about us, go look up the Very Merry podcast archive. We didn't want to keep that name because there's actually another podcast called, I'm not even going to say their name, but there's another podcast, a Christmassy
Similar.
podcast that's very similar, and they do a lot of work. They're very active, so we just wanted to separate ourselves from them and not, get up in their grill either. So go check out that archive. You can email us if you have suggestions, comments. You want to tell us what you thought of this movie. Tell us who your picks for the awards. We have the Christmas Tree Topper, we have the Robert A. Barron Award, and we have the Christmas Ham Award. You can email all of those to journeytochristmas@protonmail.com. Journeytochristmas@protonmail.com. And you can see it right there on the screen. I'll have it for you right there on the screen. Email everything there. We're getting all of our social media and stuff up and running. If you have not
Yeah.
subscribed to this YouTube channel yet, please do so. Of course, that helps. Subscribe, share this, tell everybody our new name, new home, but same Christmas cheer. Journey to Christmas. Amelia,
Absolutely.
before we go, do you have anything you want to add?
Just we are on Twitter and Instagram at JT Christmasland and on Facebook Journey to Christmasland. So we just rebranded the old pages. So if you already followed us, you still do. But if not, go ahead and follow. Tell a couple friends about it as we get
Yeah.
closer to the festive season. And also, just quickly, this movie was on an app called Plex, Plex. It's a free app where you can find this one if you're not able to find it anywhere else.
Oh, very good. On Plex. I actually rented it. I paid for this movie. I
I
rented
couldn't
it
even
on
find
Prime.
it to rent, but
Oh, I
anyway.
found it on Amazon Prime. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And then it was rent or buy, and I was like, maybe I should just buy it. Next
Yeah.
time I'm just gonna buy it. It was like rent was 4, buy was 7.
Yeah.
I don't know. It was a good movie, worth your watch. Tell us what you thought. Jamelia, so lovely to be with you today, as always. Tell people where they can find you online.
You can find me at Amelia Hammy everywhere.
And you can find me at Real Kira Davis on X or just Kira Davis, Just Kira Davis on Instagram. Be sure to follow everything. I'm so glad to be back in Christmas land. I have missed it here so much.
Yes.
It's so cozy. It's so happy. It's so nice. And everyone gets along, which is what we need in
Hmm.
America
It is a
today.
nice break.
So, Amelia, until we meet again, I wish you days filled with orphan choirs and Christmas Eve balls every day.
Thank you. I wish you a tiny tiara.
Ooh, thank you. Merry
You're
Christmas,
welcome.
Amelia.
Merry Christmas.